Hey, it's Marley, aka Type 1 Reader, here to start a brand new reading vlog. So in this vlog, I'm going to be taking on this challenge or trend that's been going on BookTube, where I cannot stop filming this video, this reading vlog, until I find a 5-star read. In case you haven't been keeping up with my reading, I have not been giving out very much 5 stars lately. I think I just never really do. I did have it as a goal for myself this year to have more 5-star reads. Unfortunately, I think I'm at only like 4 books and we're over halfway through the year. I really want to hit 10 5-star reads by the end of the year. So I think doing this little challenge will help me definitely find at least one 5-star read, obviously, or else I can never stop filming this video. So I think this will be pretty interesting to do, pretty fun. Hopefully the time length of this video doesn't spoil how long it takes me, but that's just the nature of the video. So I'm just going to share with you a few books I plan on reading. Obviously, I don't know how many of these books I'm going to get to. I don't know what I'm going to rate them, but this is kind of the strategy that I have. So first of all, we have Slow Dance by Rainbow Rowell. I think there's a high chance that I could rate this book 5 stars based on my history with the author. I've given 2 of her books, maybe more of her books 5 stars, but 2 of them I consider favorites from when I was growing up. Fangirl and Carry On, and this was an adult book she came out with a couple years ago. It's a romance, which is not always my favorite genre, but I've been liking it more and more recently, and I just have a feeling I'm going to really connect with Rainbow and her characters and her writing. I also heard multiple good reviews and 5-star reviews when this book first came out. So I'm honestly tempted to just start with this book right off the bat, but we'll see. I think another option for me would be The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the first book in a new series from her. In the past, have loved her Inheritance Game series. That is kind of like a 5-star or 4.5-star series for me. So we've had luck with this author in the past, and she's still dealing with the same world and same themes, as I believe this is also, you know, a young adult thriller having to do with mysteries and solving riddles and all that kind of stuff, which I've loved previously from her. So this has a good chance of being a 5-star as well. Another book I think could be a potential if needed is Lisa Jewell's new book, Don't Let Him In. She's a popular thriller author that I love. I've given her books 5 stars multiple times. I consider her a favorite. The only thing is I've been hearing some negative reviews of this book in particular. However, that doesn't necessarily mean I won't like it, but yeah, so this is on the table. And then finally, I consider this as kind of like a Hail Mary if none of these worked out. We're gonna do Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Another favorite author of mine, given 5 stars multiple times. And I'm hearing pretty good things about this book so far. Obviously, she wrote Carrie Soto, Daisy Jones, Evelyn Hugo, some of my favorite books. So there's a high chance that I would give this 5 stars as well. So as I said, I'm gonna save this. I'm not gonna read this right away, but I'm gonna have it saved in case I need it, in case this video is going on too long. So I'm gonna start reading later today, and let's see if I can find a 5-star, how long it will take me.
Our next station stop is Clarkson.
50 pages into the book, I am liking it. I think there's definitely potential for it to be a 5-star. We're following our main character, Shiloh. She is a 33-year-old woman. She's recently divorced and has a couple of young kids, so not exactly where she thought her life would be, but she gets invited to this wedding of an old high school friend, and so she goes, and then she ends up seeing Carrie, who is another one of her old high school friends. They haven't talked in a really long time. It seems like they always had like a will they, won't they kind of situation, because we're getting flashbacks to when they were in high school and friends. So it doesn't seem like they ever officially dated, but there's definitely tension. And as I said, now it's been years since they saw each other, and definitely a little bit of tension in present day as well. So I'm definitely liking it. I feel like Rainbow's characters are always quite relatable. Like already I'm finding Shiloh to be relatable in some ways. But yeah, very like real, very flawed characters. And I'm definitely invested in this relationship. And I do like seeing, you know, the flashbacks in the present day, because whenever it's like a friends to lovers or second chance, I feel like it's nice to have those flashbacks for you to see what their relationship
guys, here's what our room looks like. We have these little egg things, little hammocks. Hey, I am back home now, obviously. I am pretty tired, but I felt like I should update on the book because I am 200 pages in and I do want to have content in case this is a 5-star right off the bat. So yeah, Carrie and Shiloh. I feel like their relationship and the plot of this book is really reminding me of something like Love, Rosie, the movie with Lily Collins and Sam Claflin, and the book it was based off of, which I did read, of just like these two people who have been friends forever, had feelings for each other, and it just has never worked out with the timing and stuff like that. Mainly, the thing that has been keeping these two apart is long distance situation because Carrie is in the Navy, so of course he's getting stationed in different countries all the time, and Shiloh has also been kind of against the idea of the Navy. And then obviously the communication, the miscommunication between them, the lack of communication, it's very angsty, and I definitely am enjoying that. I live for that. So I am enjoying the book. I guess at 200 pages, it looks like I'm about halfway, maybe a little over. And yeah, we're continuing to see them in present day when they've reconnected, and we keep getting those flashbacks, and there's definitely more to their history than just high school and just what I think I said in the first update. So that's been very enjoyable. It's also interesting because we're mainly seeing from Shiloh's point of view. She's the main character, and so we're able to really understand her. But then we did have a little section where we were seeing from Carrie's point of view. I didn't know how I was going to feel about that at first, but it was interesting because it really made you understand him, and I was like totally kind of on his side, let's say, when in his head, and then we go back to Shiloh and I'm totally understanding her. So you can really easily see how these two got into the situation and how they have had this mixed communication or messed up communication over the years, almost also giving normal people. So I think anyone who is into books that have that kind of vibe, like very focused on a relationship between two individuals who are very flawed, have different flaws that have impacted their relationship, I think you would like this book. And so I'm liking it. I feel like I'm someone who likes that kind of book. Still too early to say if this would be 5 stars for me, but I am liking it, and I had a good weekend as well. Hope you enjoyed whatever B-roll footage I had gotten. Hello vlog, I finished Slow Dance by Rainbow Rowell. Now I really enjoyed this book, as you were seeing. Unfortunately, I don't think it is a 5-star book for me. I rated it 4 stars. Maybe it would be like 4.25 if I wanted to be like even more specific. So this video will be continuing. That being said, still loved it. Love how Rainbow didn't rely on any sort of like gimmicky romance tropes like we see so often these days. No fake dating or crazy things like that. She just really focused in on these characters and their relationship, and it still was so addicting to read and very enjoyable. But I don't know, I guess I just didn't get that 5-star feeling. No other way really to explain it. I did enjoy it a lot. I think maybe the second half started to feel a little bit less interesting just as things were solidifying more between the couple. It got a little bit less interesting and like more feeling like it was dragging on a little bit, even though I mean I didn't mind it that much. It was almost 400 pages, which is a little bit long. Still super easy to read and everything like that. And I'm glad Rainbow's back. I hope she keeps writing books because I will definitely keep picking them up. Another kind of unique thing that she does, she doesn't just make her characters be like supermodel, super good looking, super hot, chiseled body. Like, she writes very real average people, and even though they are described as kind of like average looking, the characters still obviously love each other, obviously find each other attractive. So it's just like a more realistic book. If you hate reading those romances that are just a little bit unrealistic, the men are always like supermodels, bodybuilders, whatever, have the perfect body, the women are always just super beautiful, like this is a little bit more relatable. So I like that, and I think the book really came very full circle and it was very beautiful. So I would highly recommend this. But yeah, I think we are gonna have to keep the video going. So tomorrow I'm going to start into my next book. I think I'm going to do The Grandest Games, but you will see that in a second. I have started The Grandest Games. There is definitely 5-star potential here. Definitely potential. So I just watched the new episode of The Summer I Turned Pretty, the episode that Conrad is like the main character. And honestly, I've been pretty passionately Team Jeremiah for a while now, but I think this episode was really good and really needed to remind us as the audience like what Conrad has to offer for Team Conrad. Like, I really was disliking him in season 2, but I feel like this was a good way to remind me of like his good qualities and the good relationship that there was between him and Belly. So I did appreciate this episode, and now I feel like I'm back to being like torn in between the two, which is how I prefer. I kind of like to like both sides of a love triangle. So there you go, Jenny Han, because I'm pretty sure that's still going to be endgame like it was in the books. So I'm glad that she's convincing me of Bonrad, as they say. Hello, I was just filming another video, so I thought I would update on The Grandest Game. So I am 130 pages into the book. This is a young adult like thriller mystery that takes place in the same world as The Inheritance Games, which is a series I've been loving, and I definitely think you need to have read the previous books to read this. There's a little bit of exposition to help you if you didn't, but I just don't think you're gonna get the same out of it. The only thing I decided not to read is the Untold Stories book that she put out with a bunch of short stories about the characters. I'm hoping that's not important. Again, I'm not as interested in picking up additional like short stories of series. I just feel like people are doing that as like a cash grab, and I don't know if like I care about, you know, things enough to read short stories. But if you did read that and you think it's worth it, let me know. But that's the only kind of book in the series that I didn't read. Anyways, this is the first book in a new series about this competition that Avery started with the other Hawthorne brothers as a way to kind of give back to other people because they win like millions of dollars if they win this competition. The competition is very reminiscent of like what the characters went through in the Inheritance Games of figuring out these riddles and puzzles and stuff. So anyways, there's 7 people in this competition, but we're only getting points of view from 3 of them: Lyra, Rohan, and Gigi. And there's a few different connections to the previous books. So Lyra, there wasn't. Rohan, I'm pretty sure there was. I don't fully remember his character, but I think he appeared in the Hawthorne, what was it called? Oh, the Brothers Hawthorne that followed Jameson and Grayson. I know, sorry, try to keep up. And then we had Gigi, who was also from that book. Then a couple of the other characters you kind of also know. Anyways, really fun because we're still seeing Avery, we're still seeing the Hawthorne brothers, so I like that. But yeah, they all basically get taken to this island that the Hawthornes own. They have to solve the riddles. There's different clues they're coming across. There's gonna be a winner that wins the money. There's definitely some romances that are getting set up as well, so that's fun. I do think there's a little bit of cringe going on, mainly with the character Rohan. He is like a criminal, kind of like badass. He's acting very like kind of annoying, like smarmy, like being flirty with one of our main characters. Like it's trying to be, Jennifer's trying to make it a moment, but it's coming across as a little bit cringe for me. It's not totally working how I think she wanted it to, but otherwise I'm liking it. I am liking the two main girls, Gigi and Lyra. I'm definitely intrigued to see how these puzzles come together. That's why I said I think there's potential for it to be 5 stars. But I remember thinking this in the Inheritance games, like the plot is kind of confusing, like all the different characters, the family lineages, the connections, it can be a little bit confusing. So I'm just really hoping that it will all come together in the end, or else I might not be able to give it 5 stars. Or I might just give it anyways. Oh, now that I've read it, I'm like recognizing the little items on the front are like the items that they're given. Okay, anyways, that's how far I'm in now. Tonight, I'm actually going to a bookish event. Shari Lapena having an author event and book signing. So I'm going to that for her new book. So I have to go buy the book first and then go to the event. So I'll definitely try and show some footage of that and let you guys know how it goes. And hopefully I can do some reading when I'm commuting there and back.
Everybody started yakking back there. Shari, it's so nice to see you. You too. And then it was just something I always wanted to do, and I guess I just thought it's now or never. You know, I'd had several jobs that I did not enjoy, and I knew I wanted to write, and I was home, and I'm a bit of a workaholic. I always need to be doing something. So yeah, I did it, and I did it for me, just so I wouldn't lose myself in all the diapers and chores. You know, I did it for me. How quickly did it give you pleasure? Like, did you realize, like, oh, this is fun, I'm kind of good at this? Right away, because I enjoyed it. I didn't know how good it was in the beginning. It probably wasn't very good at the beginning, but I did enjoy it, so I kept going just because I was having fun with it.
So I got the new Shari Lapena book. She didn't see it coming. I did get it signed by Shari as well. The author event was pretty good. My interaction with Shari during the signing part wasn't as good of an experience as I've had with some other authors. I didn't have kind of as nice of a conversation, but still was a very interesting interview with her. She has a pretty good personality. She was pretty funny, and it was quite interesting to hear not just about like her writing this book, but just kind of her overall writing career and her process. Like, she published her very first thriller book when she was 55 years old. She's been publishing one a year since then, and has obviously been like a bestseller every year. So that's pretty cool that her author journey really began at kind of a later age. I feel like it's kind of inspiring. Like, it's never too late. And it was interesting to learn that she is like a pantser. So that means you like write by the seat of your pants rather than like plotting things out. So while she's writing her thrillers, she's kind of figuring out who the killer is along with the audience. She doesn't have it planned out before. She's just kind of figuring it out as she writes. So some of the things like that I found pretty interesting. Okay guys, I finished The Grandest Game and it was not a 5-star, so this video continues. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. All of these books really had potential, and so yeah, I'm just getting a bit scared. I still really like this book. I gave it 4 stars. My main issue is something that I believe I had the same thoughts about with the first book in the original Inheritance Game trilogy. I felt like it did so much setup and then the book just ended without any sort of conclusion. And of course I know it's the first book in a trilogy in that case and in this one, but I wanted a little bit more closure. Like, it still is its own book. I just feel like we were building and building and then there wasn't enough closure at the end for me. Like, there's definitely cliffhangers and I'm very invested to see the rest of the series, but I guess this is just the style of this writer. I still think there's hope that the rest of the series could be 5 stars for me if it follows in the footsteps of Inheritance Games. I think we got some answers, but just not really enough. I guess I didn't really maybe know what to expect with the competition aspect, but like, minor spoiler alert, like the competition doesn't end in this book. And I just think if at least this Grandest Game competition could have like ended, it would have felt a little bit like we had a bit of a conclusion and the rest of the series could have been like the fallout. Think of something like the Hunger Games, right? Like that's typically how it goes in a competition series. Like you get the end of the competition in the first book. So that didn't really sit the best with me. Obviously there were a few other cringe things like I was talking about before, but definitely still like a lot of these characters like Gigi and Lyra. Don't know if I'm totally sold on all of the romances. Nothing's gonna hit like Avery and Jameson did. Overall did like this and would recommend for people who are fans of the series. Next clip you'll see from me will be choosing my next book. Hello, I am 200 pages into Don't Let Him In. So far this book is mainly just pissing me off. So I guess it's causing like a strong emotional reaction from me, but it is a bit of a negative one because I'm so annoyed. It's just about a really terrible, evil man. We're seeing some points of view from him and like the different schemes and scams that he runs on women, on kind of vulnerable women. And then we're also seeing the points of view of two different women. So we have Ash, who is a 26-year-old woman still living with her mom. Her dad has recently passed away. This man of many names, this con artist really starts like wooing her mom, and she is actually quite suspicious of him. So can't wait for her to put the pieces together and hopefully bring this guy to justice. But then we're also seeing the points of view of Martha, which is this man's current wife. We're seeing how he like manipulates her as well and just mistreats them and is just stealing. I mean, I don't want to spoil the plot, but it's pretty clear from the start that it's the same man, like in both of these women's chapters, and in his chapters we're seeing how it's a pattern for years and years that he just scams women for their money. It's terrible. It's really annoying to read about and see all of the women that he's tricked. So yeah, it's a little bit of a straightforward book so far. It's not really like there's a huge mystery plot going on. We're kind of, aware of everything and just waiting for our main characters to figure it out. So in the meantime, it's very frustrating, as I was saying. But hopefully there will be like twists and turns and reveals later. But Lisa Jewell doesn't always have big twists. Normally her books are still good, they're just not always the most twisty. So in terms of this being a 5-star, honestly I'm losing faith. I feel like I shouldn't have picked this one for my next read. I probably just should have went to Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I feel like that would have had a better shot. I don't feel confident about it being 5 stars. I'm still enjoying it because Lisa's writing, I just always enjoy it and how she tells her stories, but yeah, losing hope. And the video keeps on going. This was not 5 stars. I ended up rating it 3.5 stars, or like a lower 4 to 3.5, because I do just really love Lisa's writing and how she crafts her stories and her characters. Very addicting. And yeah, I did overall like this book. I think for general audiences, they would really enjoy it. I just think if you're more of a seasoned thriller author, it just might not do enough for you, which I was alluding to in the first update as well. The last few little twists we had at the end of this book were very easily guessable. There were things I already knew, I had already guessed. So I do wish there just could have been a little bit more of a surprise to this book, like something to surprise me by the end, because it is a thriller and that's just kind of what I want from my thrillers, my thriller mysteries. Yeah, that's the only reason the rating would be lower than a 4-star. Otherwise, as I said, I did overall like this. But unfortunately, not a 5-star. So we're going to be going to my last resort. Hopefully it's my last resort, Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I really hope this is a 5-star because I need this video to end and move on with my life. So pray for me. Alright, I'm about halfway through Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and this is promising. I am really enjoying this book, honestly. Not the whole time. Like when I first started it, when I first read the, oh my god, my freaking tripod. When I read the first couple of pages or chapters or whatever, I'm like, it's getting a little bit boring. But yeah, I am really enjoying it, and so I do think it has 5-star potential. We're gonna have to see. But yeah, in this book, our main character is Joan, and it's taking place a little bit in the late 70s and early 80s. And Joan is an astronaut. So we see in, I think it's 1984 is current day, and she's an astronaut, and a bunch of her fellow astronauts are on this mission, and she is the one that's back on Earth. She is Houston that they're communicating with, and something goes very wrong on the mission. And then we are flashing back to a few years ago when they were all first admitted into the astronaut training with NASA, and we're seeing how the different relationships developed between a bunch of these different characters. And there's a big focus on how these are some of the first women that were allowed into NASA. So as always, Taylor Jenkins Reid is pulling from some historical stuff that I assume is pretty accurate, although I think these are fictional people as always. But yeah, and then we're flashing forward to present day every once in a while and getting kind of updates on this mission. But as we are seeing more of the characters and their relationships, it is becoming more and more of like a sad situation with the issue that's going on in present day. And there is a, oh my god, my tripod. There is a sapphic romance as well that I'm really enjoying. Oh my gosh. I think the couple is really, really cute. Not even just cute, but like, I don't know. I'm really enjoying their relationship, and something big kind of just happened between them in this last chapter that I read, and I think it's really beautiful. Other things about Joan, she's really close with, well, she's close with her sister, I guess. They have issues, but her sister had a child very young, like a teen pregnancy kind of thing. And so she's very close with her niece, and she basically helps raise her. So that's another storyline. So there's a lot of like different things that would make this be a very emotional book with all the different relationships and stuff, and the weight and the gravity, if you will, of the situations going on. So yeah, I do think this one is very promising, probably the most promising of all the books we've had so far in this vlog of being 5 stars. And I like that it's not too long either. Like, I'm already halfway. It's only a little more than 300 pages. So yeah, I'm excited to keep reading. The last 24 hours has been a little rough. I've had numerous sensors that I wear for my diabetes fail on me, so that's been really frustrating. But you know what, I booked tomorrow off from work so I can sleep in, I can chill a little bit, but I'm also going to be being productive as well, cleaning a bit, filming for the channel. I'm filming a video that will probably go up if this is not a 5-star. Otherwise, I plan for this to be like my next upload. I plan for it to go up next week, but if this is not 5 stars and I have to continue the vlog, then I'm preparing a video for that. I just don't know. I finished Atmosphere. I definitely really liked this book. Definitely made me teary at the end, but I don't know if it's 5 stars. And I guess that means it's not. Like, if I can't confidently say that, I honestly would rate it like 4.5 stars, I think. Like, it was really good. It was really good. And just what I said in my previous update, like the relationships, it was all very heartwarming, tugging on your heartstrings the entire time. Like, very beautiful story. But I do feel like I'd be lying to myself if I said it was a full 5 stars. Like, I don't think I enjoyed it as much as Carrie Soto or Evelyn Hugo, you know? I just want to be able to put this video up though. But yeah, I think I have to go with my gut and say this is 4.5 stars. Really enjoyed it, really recommend it. It's not every day, you know, you read a book about astronauts or about lesbians. So it's definitely was nice to read, and I definitely recommend it. But I guess this video is gonna have to continue. Oh, sorry about my laundry. Luckily, okay, here's what I'm thinking. There is one more book that was already on my TBR for the month. I was gonna read it anyway, and it is a 5-star prediction, Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. Clearly, my strategy of reading from authors I've already read and given 5 stars has not been working. So maybe going for a book by an author I've never read from is actually the strategy, but it is a 5-star prediction. prediction because I think I will like it based on the vibes and the synopsis and just what I've seen of it. So maybe I will keep this vlog going. I guess I have to keep this vlog going if I want to stay true to the theme. So yeah, I will get into this one, and it is a fantasy, so I'm worried it will take me a while to read it, but how many pages is it? About 450 pages. Anyways, that's the update for now. Sorry, this video is gonna keep going, but I guess you knew that because you saw how long this video was when you clicked. Ugh. So I've been reading Sorcery of Thorns. I'm about 200 pages in, so I'm almost halfway. I am really enjoying this book. I feel like it's exactly what I wanted from it and what I kind of expected when I made it this 5-star prediction. I was really picking up on the vibes, and it's definitely serving them to me. So I'm really hopeful that this could be the last book of the vlog. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, in terms of the premise of this, so we have our main character Elizabeth, and we know that she is an orphan, and basically she was left at this library when she was young. Now, these libraries in this world are not your typical libraries. They are basically guarding these grimoires. So the books are grimoires, aka kind of like spell books or like magical books. But if the grimoires get damaged, they become like these little monster creatures. So it's kind of like Elizabeth's job and the other wardens to guard these books, make sure they don't get damaged, obviously make sure these monsters don't come to life. So kind of interesting premise, to be honest, and great for, you know, book lovers. Reading a book that has to do with libraries and books and that kind of setting, you know, is very fun. This one night she wakes up, there seems to be something weird going on, no one else is around, and one of these monsters, now I'm forgetting what they're called when they're in their monster form. But anyways, one of these monsters is there. Like, someone must have released basically the most dangerous monster that there is out of all the different levels. And so she like takes down this monster. They try to kind of pin it on her because it's a little suspicious. She was the only one around when this monster was, you know, let go. So she comes under suspicion for it. And so she gets taken to kind of like be investigated and stuff like that. Anyways, it goes off from there, but there also are these people, which I should have mentioned already, called sorcerers. And they're the ones who obviously like use the grimoires. They are the ones that can do magic, obviously. This one sorcerer that she meets is Nathaniel Thorne. So she meets him closer to the beginning of the book, and then later he comes back into the picture. And basically he ends up being like the only person that she can really trust. Yeah, basically people being corrupted and evil people. Where I'm at, like, I know who the evil person is at this point. It kind of got revealed pretty quickly. It's not really like a mystery, but I guess it's more of a mystery of like, why is this person doing this? Because now they're going around and stealing like more and more grimoires from all the different libraries, and it's really up to her as the only one who really knows the truth to figure this out, along with Nathaniel, who seems willing to help her. In this world, sorcerers, to become a sorcerer, you like have demons that work for you, that allow you to use magic. It's like a deal that you make with them, but in exchange for getting to use magic with the help of the demons, you are giving some of your life force to the demons, so you'll probably die like prematurely. So all of that I think is super interesting. It is reminding me of like other things that I've enjoyed, such as City of Bones. I don't know if it's just anytime there's like little demon monsters, it's gonna remind me of City of Bones and like the iconic kind of monster attacks that Clary deals with in that first book. I also think Nathaniel Thorne was giving me Jace Wayland vibes a little bit at first with some of his comments. He was being kind of funny, kind of dry with his humor. Like, I don't know, it was just kind of reminding me of Jace. He hasn't been cracking many jokes recently, so hopefully he starts doing that again. But yeah, I liked his personality at first. It's also kind of giving Beauty and the Beast a little bit too, with the books and our main character loving the books and setting in a library. And now I don't want to get too like far into the plot, but like she is at Nathaniel's like house, which is kind of like a castle. She's like in his library, so it's just reminding me of like Beauty and the Beast as well. And his little demon, he's connected to or whatever, his name's Silas, and he's quite an interesting character. He is honestly a really standout character in this book because you think he'll be like an evil demon, but he's actually pretty likable, pretty nice. But he almost reminds me of like, oh, maybe one of the little characters in Beauty and the Beast, people that like work at the castle. Anyways, I'm feeling really good about this. It's exactly what I'm looking for. So pray for me that the next update I do will be the final update.
New Jersey will always be my hometown.
But if the world was ending, you come over right. You come over and you'd stay the night. Would you love me for irrelevant? Oh, I feel to be irrelevant. It's time for the last to be. It's time for the last to be. You should be gone with me. You should be gone with me. Live a real life fantasy. Live a real life fantasy. Come on.
I hope you guys liked some of my Jonas Brother concert clips. They also had a couple of guests as well, so that was fun. It's been a busy week. I'm actually up early today. It's a Saturday. I'm headed to this event being put on by the Toronto Public Library called Book Crush. It's kind of like a romance book event. A bunch of authors are going. I got into a couple panels, so I'm mainly just going to watch those panels and see if there's any like fun bookish vendors, that kind of thing, so I can show you guys more B-roll of that. And you may be wondering, like, why are you showing more B-roll? Why is the vlog continuing? Well, that's because I did finish Sorcery of Thorns. It was not a 5-star book for me. It was not a 5-star read. Yeah, I'm really disappointed for multiple reasons. I had so much hope going into this book that it would be one of my favorite books of all time, potentially, and I also really wanted to end this vlog. But alas, that is not happening. I'm so sorry. I feel like, you know, it had so much potential. I liked so many things about this book, but I just would be lying to myself and lying to you if I gave it 5 stars. It still would be a 4-star for sure, like a really high 4-star read for me. I really liked it. My biggest thing was probably that I wish the romance was a little bit stronger. They had so much potential at the beginning. They were reminding me of Jason Clary, which is one of my favorite book ships, but they just didn't get developed enough for me. Like, I feel like our main girl spending more time with Silas the demon, and that relationship got developed more than the one she had with Nathaniel, the love interest. So yeah, I still liked it, but that could have been better. I guess a few other things could have been better too. I think it definitely must have been inspired by Beauty and the Beast, what I was talking about before, because there were a lot of references to roses as the book kept going, and there was even like a scrying mirror where you could like see other people through the mirror. So this must have been based on Beauty and the Beast, which makes sense of why I was drawn to it. It's just going to be a high 4-star read for me, and I would definitely read more from Margaret Rogerson. Now, I was really torn about what to do because I had my set TBR for the rest of the month, and at first I'm like, none of these books give me 5-star potential. But then I was looking at the reviews for this one, and I'm like, oh, maybe it is a potential 5-star book. Clearly I'm not picking the right books, so maybe I just need to do something I didn't necessarily think would be a 5-star prediction, and that's Lovely War by Julie Berry. So this was chosen for my TBR based on the tarot cards I pulled or whatever. I was looking at the reviews for this from like all the people I have on Goodreads, and so many people gave this 5 stars when it came out, which was maybe 2020 or something like that. So I'm like, okay, I didn't necessarily think it would be 5 stars, but maybe it will be, just based on the fact that like so many people did. This is like a historical fiction taking place during the war, but it also is still fantasy and romance. So historical's not my biggest thing, but like I have enjoyed it in the past. And then the fantasy, the Greek mythology, the romance, obviously I do like. So I think it follows multiple different people throughout World War I and II. Different people from, I guess, the UK, from the US, from Belgium, and it's their story as told by the goddess Aphrodite. Now, the only thing that sucks is that this is a really huge, long book, so I'm afraid it's gonna take me like a whole week. And I'm starting to just get nervous because I wanted this vlog to go up in the month of August. This is my August vlog. And so if it goes over that, like it's really throwing me off. And I'm also about to go on a trip pretty soon too, like in less than 2 weeks. I'm going on a week-long trip and I just really want this video to be over by then. So this is definitely a risk. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm trying to stay true to the theme of this vlog. I'm trying to not give up on it. So this is what we're gonna go into next. Kind of sucks it's so big because I'm gonna be traveling today to the event and taking it around with me, but this is where we are right now. So thank you if you're still watching.
It's a good shorthand to bring two people together, and it's one of these like main staples in the romance genre, as just like, you know, broadly, and like we all like, you know, being forced to like work with like your mortal enemy, right? There's something lovely in that, and there's so many different like micro tropes in that trope that you can play with. You can play with like power dynamics. You can play with like friends to lovers or like enemies to lovers. It's just like there's just like so many different juicy things you can do with forced proximity that I think a lot of it actually stems from fanfic and like fanfic tropes, and that's why we talk about like tropes now so openly, is because of the AO3 fanfic tags.
I think I've noticed the most in kind of contradiction towards like releasing books set in Canada, like all of my books have been set in Canada, but to like a large consumer base that I think, you know, obviously Canadians read, hi guys, but like a large consumer base in the original days for me was an American base. And so having to put like in my author's notes, like this book is set in Canada, please don't get mad that there's no hospital bills. Please don't get mad. Because my first book, Next to Kin, like it's about the foster care system, and she adopts her newborn sister who is out of the NICU, and a lot of people at first were like, why are they not talking about these like bills and all of these things, and why is the CPS system different, and why is it CA, you know? And just stuff like that, I think logistically can sometimes be difficult.
Hello readers, I am now over halfway through The Lovely War. I'm actually 300 pages in, and it's only been 2 days of reading. Despite this looking quite thick, it's actually reading so quickly, and I actually think the pages might be a little bit thick, so it's not actually as long as it looks. But yeah, I was just honestly getting like pretty addicted to reading it. Oh, maybe I should talk about the Book Crush event that I went to though, because I know I put some clips in here. Anyways, that was a fun event. I went by myself, but it was still quite fun. I hope we get more events like that in Toronto, but I saw a panel with Ashley Poston, and she had a really fun personality. It kind of makes sense because her books are quite funny. So I like to see that. And then I watched a panel with Hannah Bonham Young as well. I've only read one of her books so far, but I am interested in reading more from her potentially. Her panel was all about reading books from Canadian authors that actually set their books in Canada. So there were some other authors on that panel I'm probably interested in checking out now as well. But yeah, so that was a fun time. But anyways, back to The Lovely War. So I am really liking it, but I don't know, like I couldn't tell you right now if it's going to be 5 stars. I think there could be potential just in the way that the story's being told is pretty cool, but I actually couldn't tell you yet. So that makes me a little worried that I don't like know for sure, and I'm not for sure getting that 5-star feeling, but we just have to keep having hope, because honestly I might finish this like quite soon with how I'm reading it so quick. In terms of the premise, the opening scene, I'm pretty sure it's based on one of the Greek myths where Aphrodite is hooking up with Ares, the goddess of love is hooking up with the god of war, and then Hephaestus comes and catches them. And of course Hephaestus is Aphrodite's husband, so he catches them cheating and kind of like puts Aphrodite on trial kind of thing, and she feels like she has to explain herself and how, like, even though she's the goddess of love, she's never experienced love herself, but like how love can can conquer all and can kind of overpower war and stuff like that. Anyways, so it's cool because it's like from her point of view, but then she's telling us the story of Hazel and James. So this love story that was going on during World War I, they met right before James had to go off to war. It's like a nice love story, but also upsetting, obviously. And then we also hear some points of view, or some chapters are from Ares' point of view, or some of the other gods who end up coming in, but I don't want to spoil. Like Aphrodite's chapters focus more on the love stories, Ares' chapters focus more on the war, and so on, as you can imagine. So it is a fun way to tell the story. And then we also have another love story between Aubrey and Colette. Aubrey is a black man in the war, and he's a musician, so he's focused on like playing music for the soldiers, but then also being a soldier himself, I believe. And then Colette is a woman who's like helping out and volunteering her time to help the soldiers, and she has her own tragic backstory. She's from Belgium, and so her whole family was killed in the war. So far it's only been during World War I, but in the back it does say it goes into World War II as well. So yeah, it's definitely the type of story that's going to pull at your heartstrings, that is going to get emotional. Since it's dealing with the war, I can only imagine some sad things are going to end up happening. Or maybe it'll be the opposite. It'll be like inspirational, like these couples got through the war. Anyways, I obviously won't tell you what ends up happening, but moral of the story, I'm liking it, but I still don't know if it's going to be that 5-star book that I'm searching for. But all right, I'm back. I took a little break from filming this vlog, to be honest. It's been probably about a week. I was just getting so discouraged, and things were obviously not going well, as you were seeing. So even though I wasn't filming though, I was still reading a lot. I was really determined and trying to find a 5-star still. And so I'm just gonna do a little rapid fire update here. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm titling this video, so maybe you kind of already know what's coming in this update. But of course we have to start with The Lovely War, which is the last thing that you saw me reading and really enjoying. I did finish it and ultimately end up deciding that it was not 5 stars for me, even though I really did enjoy it, and it would probably be a very high 4-star, maybe even 4.5. But the ending was a little bit lackluster for me, and I ended up finding out it's actually considered a young adult novel, and so that might be why it didn't totally like pack a huge punch at the end. But I still did really enjoy this book. I mean, I've enjoyed a lot of the books in this vlog, like every single one, just not enough to be a favorite. I then ended up reading The Wedding People by Alison Espach. This was already on my TBR for my book club, and of course I've heard good things about it. So I was like, okay, we'll give this a chance. At this point, I'll read anything. And I really honestly enjoyed this book. Was not 5 stars, but would be again a very highly rated 4-star read. Thought it was so funny. Really connected with it. It reminded me of like a British humor book, even though it wasn't British. So really, really enjoyed this one. Read it very quickly, but couldn't in my heart say that it was 5 stars. So moving on, I decided to pick up another book I always just thought could be a favorite for me, and that's A Curious Beginning by Deanna Raybourn, the first book in the Veronica Speedwell series. I've heard really good things about it from booktubers online. I know it has a slow burn romance and murder mystery, and those are just some things that typically I really enjoy. So I got 30% into this book, and I actually DNF'd it. I could just tell that I was not really connecting with the writing, and there was no way that it would be 5 stars. And at this point, I was just really desperate to continue with this vlog and the purpose of it. I think I'll still probably go back and finish A Curious Beginning at some point, but I just knew, I'm like, this is not gonna be 5 stars, and that's what I really need. We have literally days left until I leave for my trip, until August ends and we go into a new month. So yeah, so then I decided to check out some thrillers. I really love thrillers typically, and I knew those would be some quick reads because at that point I literally had like 2 days left. And so I ended up picking up Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. This is a book I've heard really good things about. It was popular a few years ago, and it was one of the highest rated thrillers on my TBR on Goodreads. And honestly, really enjoyed this thriller. I was so sucked in. I think I read it in like a day. Obviously from the title, it's like a missing woman thriller. A lot of domestic drama stuff going on. Really enjoyed that thriller, but at the end of the day, I could only give it 4 stars once again. As we've been seeing, I've been enjoying basically all these books, giving them all 4 stars. It was just not like twisty enough for me at the end, and I feel like there were some potential kind of plot holes maybe, which I'm not usually the type to care too much about plot holes, but I needed it to be a little bit more twistier as well. Which brings us to the last book, the final book, and that was Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier, another thriller. I read from Jennifer Hillier once before and gave her book 4.5 stars, and I was tempted to give it 5 back then. So I knew there was potential of me connecting with this author. This book has to do with a woman going to jail, with murder, a lot of violence. And even though I was like addicted to reading this book, found it so quick to read, again, read it in a day, like all yesterday, I cannot give it 5 stars again. I would honestly probably give it 3.5. I probably would have given it 4 typically, but the amount of on-page sexual violence that I had to read, like, for me, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I love this book. When I'm having to read those types of scenes, I get it for like from a horror kind of aspect. Maybe Jennifer's books would be, no, they're probably more thriller than horror, but like obviously that's really horrific to read. So even though, I mean, technically I really enjoyed the book, but not a favorite. And so basically what I'm here to say is that I failed. I'm a failure at this challenge and I'm gonna give up. But I mean, I think it's pretty clear that I really tried my hardest for the entire month. This has been my whole month's reading. I read 9 books, which is a pretty decent amount. It's like 1 more than what I normally read, because I normally read about 7 or 8 books. So I really tried, but at this point, like, I do want to end the video. The only thing I will say, I did technically find a book that I rated 4.5 stars. If you want to consider that you know, rounding it up, this would be 5. We can say I had a success. But I feel like for me, I didn't want to count like a 4.5. I really was wanting a 5. Anyways, at least we had this. As I said, I'm going away on a trip. The new month is starting. But I think this really shows me that like I really need to work on getting more 5-star reads and more favorites, and I need to just like figure out what a 5-star book really is to me and what that means for me. You'd think I would have it figured out by now, being on BookTube like 5 years, but I guess not. I'm actually thinking of maybe doing what some people were doing a couple years ago, like a 5-star audit, and you look at all the books you've given 5 stars in the past and you see what similarities they all have, what things you clearly enjoy. And I just might have to do more content surrounding that, more videos focused on finding a 5-star. But this did not work. I hate that I failed this challenge, but I really did try. If you've made it this far, like, thank you for watching so much. Please subscribe so that you can see when I do find a 5-star again. I think I've literally only had like 4 so far this year. So looking for that next one, that 5th one. Give me any of your tips down below of how you find books that you love, or I don't know, respond to anything you'd like in this vlog. Sorry for being a failure and making this video so long, but I really did try. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you're having a better reading time than I am. And I'll sign off now. See you guys soon in my next video, which should be coming very soon. Bye.